looks and take the mask off when you get to the podium and keep it on behind. What's your best practice? We will need for indoors. Yeah, sorry. And that's a move for both pretty eyes. All right, we're gonna start. Good. I'm doing well. I've been so excited to be able to talk about this. Oh my god.
Well, Mike, did you want it? Mike and Linda? It'd be good.
Mike and Linda, yeah. Why don't we get?
Linda, yeah. Yeah.
Glenda, you don't want to come up? Okay.
Okay.
You don't have, no, but I think it is important.
Yeah. 'Cause you're
Yeah.
from that city.
You don't have to. Well, I'll handle the hard questions. My will. Go ahead. Okay, no problem. No problem. On live stream. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for joining us for a very important announcement for our city. I'm Daryl Steinberg, the mayor of Sacramento, and I am joined by my colleague who is really the impetus behind all of this, Councilmember Vang, Assistant City Manager Michael Jasso. As the city manager has been a key piece in all of this. And we're joined by Glenda Corcoran, who is the, I don't know your exact title, but I call you Chief of Staff to Congresswoman Doris Matsui, who has also played an integral role in today's announcement. I just want to begin by saying thank you to everybody who has brought us to this day. Let me tell you why we're here. Several months ago, as we were grappling with our two biggest challenges, homelessness and how to bring more economic growth and civic amenities to all of the diverse neighborhoods in Sacramento, Councilmember Vang came to me and to the city manager with an idea. And that idea came from her and her extensive network of community advocates in South Sacramento. And the idea was this: there were 102 acres of federal surplus land available in South Sacramento, that you see here in the diagram. It's about a mile and a half south of Meadowview Road, a half mile north of Consumers River Boulevard, due south of the Pinnell Center, that was available for sale. Councilmember Vang came to me and came to the city manager and said, even though this isn't usually what a city does, given our needs around homelessness and housing, and given the rightful desire of the people of South Sacramento to have enough space to attract some great community amenity, whether it be youth or arts and culture, there are so many potential opportunities. Why don't we bid? And so we bid, and we went back and forth for over a month. And in the end, we won the bid. And for $12.3 million, the city of Sacramento now owns this formerly federal land that will enable us to do great things in our city. What will we do? You'll hear from Councilmember Vang. She will lead a visioning process among her constituents and community. I will be honored to participate in that and talk to the community about what they want. The federal law and the federal requirement is that 25% of the site be used for affordable housing. So that will be a piece of this. And in the meantime, while we do all of this, we will use significant acreage as one of our safe parking sites for our unsheltered and homeless population. This site will be in addition to the Colfax site in North Sacramento that is part of the comprehensive siting plan. I'm going to let Councilmember Vang talk at length about the civic amenity piece because that's her vision. But I want to say with regard to homelessness and safe camping, that this purchase represents the first of several key breakthroughs on this front. We are currently negotiating for another major piece of land. Can't tell you where, to be able to do more, to create more housing opportunities, tiny home opportunities, safe camping and safe parking opportunities in the city of Sacramento, to potentially create our first comprehensive campus to make a dent in this problem. Councilmember Valenzuela is about to launch an alternative to the WX Safe Ground site. More announcements are coming. I don't want to overpromise. I've learned here over these last 5 years that going from vision and resources to actually getting some of these things off the ground takes some time. And I don't have a timeline for you today about when safe parking will actually occur at this new site. But I can tell you that we are finally acquiring the right sites to be able to stand up what is needed to provide the relief that all of our business corridors and our neighborhoods need and deserve. And in collaboration with the county and through our Department of Community Response led by Bridget Dean, to be able to actually help the people who are living in such disparate tent encampments and car encampments throughout the city. So this is a big day, 102 acres that we get to dream and we get to do. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Councilmember Vang, and thank you. What do I got here? That's yours. Those are your notes.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our important announcement. Today is a truly exciting day for our city, but especially for South Sacramento. As I shared, for far too long, our South Sacramento community has historically been underinvested and have been denied economic opportunities. I've had the opportunity to work closely with our city manager, our city staff, and the mayor to secure this property to ensure that South Sacramento truly gets its fair share of equitable investments. I'm excited that we have this unique opportunity to build more affordable and permanent housing, have access to land for the community, to co-create with the community, to dream big about what we envision for South Sacramento, whether that's more access land for urban gardens, whether that's a youth sports complex, more affordable housing. I want the community to dream big because I want to co-create with them. Most importantly, this is going to provide us the relief and the opportunity to bring resources that will benefit our unhoused neighbors and our families right here in South Sacramento. In the following months ahead, I'm going to launch a series of community listening sessions to co-create and dream big, a vision that will guide the development of this property to ensure that we uplift every person, every child, and every family in South Sac. Again, like I shared earlier, this is truly our chance to co-build, to co-create something incredible for our community. I do want to take this opportunity to thank Congresswoman Matsui and her staff for their assistance, the mayor, city staff, and our incredible team at City Hall, my team, Heart and Hustle, Ryan, Jaime, Asia, our amazing volunteers, really, who worked hard to ensure that we could do everything we can to secure this property. You know, when I ran for city council during the campaign, and especially someone who grew up in South Sac, I have seen over and over again the disinvestment in our community. And our team, when we hit the ground running, we did an analysis of all the vacant lands in South Sacramento. And this is one piece of land that I've been keeping my eyes on. Grateful that the mayor is willing to partner our city to make sure that this happens for South Sacramento. I'm really excited to get to work, but really work with all of you in our community, our residents, our neighborhood leaders, our advocates on the ground to really envision what we can do for this property and for our families. And with that, we'll allow some time for a Q&A.
Well, yes, and I just want to repeat, again, Glenda Corcoran is here. Congressman Matsui always delivers for Sacramento, always. And it's not always the easiest thing in the world to navigate the federal government, and to have Glenda and her team working in partnership with us. We still have some work to do. For example, we need an easement into the property, but we're working on that. So I want to say thank you. And I also want to thank Howard Chan and Michael Jasso, of course, who's representing Howard today, because for me as mayor and for Howard as the city manager, this was not, an easy decision to make, because it's a little unconventional. As I said earlier, it's not usually what cities do. But when we have a council member who has a vision, and we have the needs that we have to address the social condition here in our city, in the end, it was an easy thing to say yes. It'll be the best $12.3 million we've ever spent in this city. And I look forward to seeing the vision realized, and to help, and in the meantime, to helping many more people. By the way, safe parking is not just, having people park in a different place. It means having a series of central places where we can work with the county and bring in the services, including the housing services that people need, so that we can get people out of their cars, out of their RVs, into housing and a better life. We'll take your questions. Unless you want to say anything, Glenda? You want to? Okay, Michael, do you want to say anything? Go. No.
We just acquired land, so everything's at the beginning stage right now. And as soon as we were able to acquire it, it was really important to make sure that we let the community know. I think a big benefit of this being under the city of Sacramento is that the city of Sacramento is run by the people. And I think that's something really important to note. As I shared with the mayor and the city manager, that, when we talk about equitable investment, I truly want to make sure that the community is involved in that process. And that's the reason why in the following months ahead, I will be holding a series of listening sessions in the Meadowview community and the Detroit community, which is parallel to the 102 acres in the South Sac Valley High area. Because it's important to hear from our families directly, all their hopes and dreams for this community. This land belongs to you. It belongs to the community, and it should be the community that has the opportunity to co-create to make sure that this vision becomes reality.
And I know we have complementary messages, but maybe taking slightly different angles, which is one of the advantages to the safe parking concept, which is temporary, is that you don't need new buildings. You do need the services, but this can be plug and play, so to speak. We could get going on this sooner rather than later.
Well, the piece of land is landlocked right now, so there is no entryway into the land. We are working with city staff and also Matsui's office to really look for an easement. Staff is actually looking at it right now, and so we don't have the answers to that because we literally just acquired the land. But it is a really exciting opportunity, and we look forward to the weeks and the months ahead to make sure that we make that happen.
I have a question from Chris Nichols at Cap Radio. Is the 12.3 million coming from the city's general fund? And would the additional future purchases come from the same fund?
It will come from a combination of funds. I don't know exactly. We're still working that out. We have the general fund. We have Measure U. We have our
All of that is set aside for our affordable housing.
We have our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We have our ARP funding. And so there's not endless money, obviously, but we are living in an era where, unlike the era I served in 10 years ago in the legislature, where money really isn't as big of an issue. We do have the resources to be able to invest in the right way, and that's exactly what we're doing here.
In an equitable way.
And in an inclusive and equitable way, yes. Anybody else?
You know, oftentimes I share that solutions doesn't really come from the government. It actually comes from the people. And a big way to make sure that we're reaching all of the individuals, the folks that need that support, is to make sure that we lean on our advocates and our community members on the ground. That has always been my philosophy before I was a councilwoman as a community organizer, is that truly you have to let the advocates and the community lead. And so for us to really make sure that this project is equitable and that we truly execute this vision in a way that's going to work for everyone, the community has to be part of this process. And so I really look forward to working with the advocates, our neighborhood associations, residents in the community, folks who knows what's happening on the ground, who are continually my eyes and ears on the ground. That's the way we're going to be able to execute this vision.
One additional question, Tony from the Sacramento Observer, what type of mental health programs will be administered at this facility?
Well, we are working to elevate our partnership with Sacramento County. The city is not a health and human services agency. It's not what we do. Now, we have entered this space because the need is so great, and we do have resources like we've never had before. We are innovating by establishing the Department of Community Response, but we have to partner with the county in order for us to be able to help as many people as possible and have a cleaner and safer city. And we're reaching out and working with them on a number of different projects. This will be a project I'm sure we will be working together on. I just want to add as well, because sometimes the public, it's important to reiterate to the public. The city of Sacramento has traditionally not gotten in this space. It's not what we do, but we are aggressively. And when people say, well, nothing's happening, over the last 5 years, the Meadowview Women's Shelter, the WX Shelter, the Grove Tiny Home Community, the hundreds of motel and hotel spaces that we're leasing, the whole person care pilot that helped thousands of people. We are doing a lot. We need to do more. And we need to do it in partnership with our friends at the county.
Do you know if the neighborhood objects to this coming there? I mean, most neighborhoods don't want shelters of any kind.
As I've shared before, in the following months ahead, I'll be working with community members to hold listening sessions so that we can co-create and dream big about what this property can really entail. I've have conversations with neighborhood leaders in Meadowview, in Detroit, and in South Sacramento, and they're incredibly excited. I think the big takeaway is that we need to make sure that when we're doing this, we're bringing the community along with us. That's going to be key to this. And I have shared that with the mayor. I've shared that with the city manager. As someone who represents this area, community engagement is absolutely important to me. As someone who grew up in South Sacramento as a daughter of refugee, I was born and raised in South Sac, and I'm a homeowner in South Sac. I live in South Sac. And so I have an investment, all of our residents do, all our families. I want to make sure we do everything we can to support our unhoused neighbors that are in our neighborhoods now. I want to make sure that we uplift every child, every family in South Sacramento. And I think this is a unique opportunity for us to do that, to really dream big, co-create, and make sure that we truly do not leave South Sacramento behind, and think this is a great opportunity for us to do that.
So I just, there's something different about this than other opportunities we've had. And that is, it's one thing if you're looking at a 5-acre surplus property opportunity. Well, then you say, well, I guess we have to really focus and choose to do one thing. 102 acres. We can do many different things, and we'll do many different things with this property. And that's the beauty of this, is that it doesn't come along very often that you get this amount of land to be able to dream and do. And I have all the confidence, Councilmember Vang, this is the community organizer of the city council and the city. And this will be an inclusive process, I have no doubt. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
This is exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the community is excited, so I had an opportunity to call our neighborhood association yesterday. Yeah, so they know, yeah, I wanted to make sure that they knew.
Yeah.
So I did all the- I know.
I don't know how many city blocks